Alright, so this is part 5 of how the New York City Public School P.S. 38, George Cromwell on Lincoln Avenue in Staten Island lost my child during their first day of summarizing class, or course. So, when I arrived at P.S. 38, I was immediately greeted by the principal, Dr. Cotto. He introduced himself and asked if I could wait a few minutes because he was in the middle of something. So I said, sure, no problem. After a few minutes, he came and got me and brought me back to his office. We sat down together and he had printed a copy of the email that I had sent out to everyone regarding the incident that occurred. So once we began discussing what occurred, the principal explained that the school is responsible for student transportation. I told him that this has never been communicated to me and that I never signed any paperwork authorizing my daughter to be transported on any school bus at all besides trips. He did apologize for what happened. Him and the school safety agent were the only two adults in that entire program that were apologetic, and they had absolutely nothing to do with the situation. I explained my concerns regarding the conduct of the Summer Rising administration, specifically Director Sophia Tang, the Assistant Director Smokey Browning, and a woman who was also overseeing dismissal who is still unidentified. I told him that after I arrived at the school, after I got called, telling me that my daughter was missing, the director, she basically completely ignored my presence. She did not acknowledge me, apologize to me, or show any empathy, compassion, nothing for the situation. I explained to the principal how the assistant director also displayed the same lack of concern as the director and the unidentified woman. And I was describing how I approached the director, Sophia Tang, and asked why my daughter was placed on a bus without my knowledge. And why was she missing for over an hour? And why I had to be hung up on when I was trying to figure out where my child was. She could not give me any answers. So then, she told me that she was unaware of what happened, but she would get to the bottom of it. And I was not taking that for an answer because you're not going to sweep this under the rug. That's what's not going to happen. Not with my kid. You could do that with somebody else's, but not with mine. So, at that point, the assistant director, Smokey Browning, had came outside. And once he started speaking, I immediately recognized his voice from over the phone, and he was the one who hung up on me. So I was explaining to the principal that once I realized he was the voice behind the phone, I became very upset because my child was unaccounted for over an hour and no one appeared to be treating the situation with any sort of urgency. So the assistant director got defensive because I was asking the actual director how they lost my child. So we get into an argument, and during that confrontation, after I'm expressing my anger and concern, actually, for all of the other kids in the program, because from what I believe, this is gross negligence, because you lost a child, you misplaced a child, and then did not know where she was for over an hour, and the school did not locate my child. The only way my child was located was because the bus brought my child back to school after the route was complete. So the school did absolutely nothing in locating my child. The bus brought my child back to the school. The school did not find my child. I just want to make that abundantly clear. The school did not find my child. My child was brought back to the school. That's the end of the story on that part. So after me and the assistant director, Smokey Browning, have words, because he's so defensive, because I'm upset, apparently I'm in the wrong for being upset that a school lost my child, he goes and tells me that he hopes everybody I know knows how to fight because I'm talking crazy. He also attempted to criticize my husband by claiming that when my husband went to the school to pick up my children before I got there, that he tried to be aggressive only towards the female staff, when that's not true. I clarified to the principal that when my husband came to the school, he went right to the director because he was standing in the hallway. And the director, the assistant director, Smokey Browning, which is a man, So my husband went right up to him. And when my husband went right up to him, he walked away and went to go get the parent coordinator for my daughter's homeschool, Kathy Maggio, and then did not come out of the office until my husband left. So I don't know what he's talking about. My husband didn't have the same energy. How could my husband give him the same energy if you ran away? You knew you were in the wrong. You ran into a different room. You actually called a woman out and threw her in the front line. And you're an assistant director. She's only a parent coordinator. So that speaks a lot to your professionalism.